everyone. My name is Ashleigh King, and a warm welcome to anyone watching live or watching this on replay at a later time. I wanted to create a quick live stream just to tell people about some news. So I am a podcaster. As I said, my name is Ash. I started a podcast 2 years ago called Nurture Your Zest, and it was something I never expected. The reason I started that was to help raise awareness of important social matters that mattered to me and to members in my community. And I started chatting to people, and it grew and grew. But one of the things that I did when I started that podcast is I had no idea how to do anything. I was learning from scratch. And what I found over the last 2 years is I get many questions from people asking how to start a podcast. What would I talk about? What kind of funding is available? What kind of equipment should I get? What's the value of a podcast? What can podcasting help to do? How will it help my business? How can it attract new audiences? So many different questions. And I'm really excited to announce that very recently I've been appointed as a guest expert in residence in podcasting to the BIPC in Newcastle. So the BIPC is the Business and Intellectual Property, or IP Centre, in the northeast of England in Newcastle. There are many all over the country in the UK, and these services and centres exist to help small businesses and charities to really understand more about how to grow their business, to signpost them to funding and different support available. And so I'm really excited that I've been invited to join a list of guest experts in Newcastle upon Tyne. What that means is that if you're a business or a charity based in Newcastle, you're able to work with me for free. There are certain eligibility requirements. For instance, you may have had some support before, and so that may mean that we wouldn't be able to work together. But it's a really exciting thing because we haven't had anyone offering this in the subject of podcasting before. So if you're a small business or a charity, or you know someone who might be interested in starting a podcast, then this could be a great opportunity for you. Some of the reasons people do start a podcast are to grow their audience, to connect with new customers, to tell people about their product or business, to raise awareness. So one of the things you can do is you can book a complimentary chat with me. I will put a link in the comments once I finish this live stream. So that is for anyone in the northeast of England. You don't need to be based in Newcastle. But if you have a question about podcasting, starting a podcast, launching a podcast, live streaming, equipment, any of those things, that is your opportunity to pick my brains for 30 minutes for free. And then as a result of that, we will have a chat. And if there is funding that you're eligible for, I will complete some forms and you may be able to gain access to work with me for 12 hours funded. That means I can help you to plan your podcast or help you to work on your confidence around being a guest on other people's podcasts. I'm also excited to share that I will be running a training session in Newcastle upon Tyne on Wednesday, the 2nd of March. So I'll put a link to that in the chat as well. But that means that if you've thought about it, you're not sure what it's worth, whether it's worthwhile, if it's something you'd want to do, you can actually access that training with me. So that training is going to be a little bit about podcasting. What is its place in the marketing mix? How can a podcast add value? What kind of things would you talk about? What kind of podcast do you like? Thinking about your competitors or people that you listen to, what brings you to them? And then we'll also look at signposting to equipment, and other things you can do. So if you haven't come across me yet, and this is your first time hearing about me, I would like to let you know that I have a beautiful studio in the northeast of England called Flamingo Heights. It's a creative space where you can come and record voiceovers. You can book it for interviews, for guest live streams or podcasts. And we offer space where you can hire it without any support or without any editing, as well as packages where you have audio and video included and editing in that as well. We also work a lot with models and photographers because we've got quite unusual spaces. So it's a beautiful space to come get your photographs, do your makeup, relax, and then come on a podcast. So I'm really excited to be able to offer this to businesses in the Northeast. I have had a lot of people ask as well about whether I might want to start a networking group or some other ways of training people. So that's something I'm working on. So watch this space and I'll share more details on that soon. But the main thing to say is that if you're a business in Newcastle, please do reach out. You can speak to me. Book a time. We can go through any questions you have around podcasting or being a podcast guest, and I would be so delighted to help you. Although I'm listed as an expert on the website, the BIPC, it's not something I would have ever thought of myself as an expert. So I do want to say, I started and learned from scratch by myself, and that's why I think it's a really great place to start for other businesses, because I can help as someone who knew nothing and has then learned as they've gone. So hopefully this is something that might be of interest to you. And if it is, or if you know someone else who might be interested, please do send them my way. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have a wonderful day.